We have here in the studio with us Philip Obin, Chairmanship candidate for Biase local government area in Cross River State. Welcome to SaharaTv.
My pleasure being here.
Thank you. I'll start with the letter from ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo. If you did read it, and I'm sure you did, what are your reactions to it?
Wow. I think it's a privilege to be allowed to talk about a letter from one of the most respectable leaders in Nigeria, President Olusegun Obasanjo. He did raise some very, very important issues in the 13-page letter he wrote, public letter he addressed Nigerians and of course the APC. However, I have my reservations. Like the information minister had replied, I think Chief Obasanjo must have been very busy with activities and is not really in touch with realities on ground. The truth is, Obasanjo was he played a pivotal role, a prominent role in the run-up to the 2015 election, and I think must thank him for his contributions. He's not officially a member of the party, but he supported the party with all he got, and that being said, he has every right to comment on what is happening in Nigeria today. That is to say, he means well for the country and for President Buhari, who is a personal friend. I think that that being said, we cannot adjudge Obasanjo to be better than President Buhari today. We are here in Nigeria with due respect. When Obasanjo was a president, we saw how sitting governor was practically kidnapped from office under his watch in Nigeria. He commented on a couple of issues which also borders on security. Fortunately, he commended President Buhari for doing well in terms of security. We also have seen the growth of the Nigerian economy. If I must bring us back, I'd like us to look at the root of the economic challenges we have in Nigeria today. Nigeria relied completely on proceeds from crude oil. We relied about 90% on crude oil for our revenues some years ago, and then our foreign earner was basically the same crude for up to 70%, and that brought the hardship we're facing today. The prices of oil crashed. Immediately, President Buhari took over. It crashed from about $100 per barrel to about $30-something per barrel. And then not just that, our production output also reduced from about 2-something million barrels per day to sometime less than 1 million barrels per day due to the insurgency we had in the Niger Delta region. I would like to break that down. Most economists, most politicians that come on air, they use professional jargons that the common Nigerian does not understand. And if I'm allowed to break it down to the understanding of the common Nigerian, I think that simply means that, let's take for example, Nigeria is a father, right, of 36 states with children and wives. What Nigeria says majorly is palm wine, right? Nigeria is a palm wine tapper. The palm wine tapper sells about 2 million crates of palm wine at the cost of 100 naira per gallon. Now that is how Nigeria generates its income. Now all of a sudden, the price of palm wine has dropped from 100 naira per gallon to about 36 naira per gallon all of a sudden. Now, do you expect such a father to still live up to his expectations? The answer is no. Now, what do we do? As a good father, you don't just complain that, oh, the price of palm wine has dropped. We need to look for alternatives. How do we survive? What the government is trying to do is to say, okay, let us look at A, B, C, D, and probably E, and see how we can, change the way we generate income. And the government is saying, okay, let us look towards agriculture and mineral resources. Let us look at infrastructure, capital project. And so what the government is doing is that the government is trying to diversify into agriculture. The government is trying to diversify into mineral resources. That way, we'll have alternative source of generating income as a country. Now, these sectors are not sectors that will immediately pick up. Over the years, Nigeria is known for doing agriculture the old way, using machete and hoe. Now we have to adopt a new way of, going into large-scale farming, and it takes time to learn. It takes time to learn new, crops.
Mr. Philip, former President Olusegun Obasanjo said categorically that he'd like the current President Buhari to not contest, recontest for office 2019. Do you think that's an advice that the presidency would heed to?
I am not in the position to say. President Muhammadu Buhari himself has not said yet whether he would like to run for 2019 or not. He has not said it.
On the day when there was the Benue killings, I think he was somewhere in the southeast campaigning.
No, that's not true. He was not in the southeast to start with. Rather, some governors visited him and endorsed him for a second tenure. All right. Now, even at that, he didn't categorically tell them that he was going to run for 2019. That being said, I also think, with due respect, that President Obasanjo is not in the right position to advise President Muhammadu Buhari to run or not to run. Here is a former president who actually or allegedly tried to run for a third term in a constitution, in a country where the constitution says you can only do second term. And the same person is coming to tell a president who has just done one term not to go for second term. So I don't know what I'm not understanding. The same Obasanjo practically endorsed President Buhari late last year, sometime around October, November. So between October, November and today, I don't know what has changed. But like I said, he reserved the right to comment on issues happening in Nigeria. But I think he's not in the right position to advise President Buhari to run or not to run.
From the context of OBJ's letter, he obviously has a dog in the fight, and it's not Atiku and it's not Buhari. What does this mean for the APC?
Oh, it means a lot for APC as a party. Another salient point he made was that APC has not done very well in terms of internal democracy, which I will agree with him. The party, a spokesperson has said, the Minister for Information has said, the party has to come together. We need to rearrange internally the party. Yeah, if we must succeed for the long haul, we need to rearrange the party internally. There are so many issues. But I also think that part of the issues we're having in APC today is because we are yet to do a new convention. We are yet to elect new officials into the party. Now, here was a party that was in opposition for a while, all right? And as at the time the composition of the leadership of APC was formed, not so many Nigerians were interested in the party because they never believed it was going to win a national election. So now that this has happened, we need to come back to the drawing board and see how we can, do a new Congress and then fill the offices that needs to be filled with the right person so that we can make progress. But I'm sure before the end of the first quarter of the year, the party will organize a convention and that will be sorted out.
Also, former President Olusegun did talk about a coalition for Nigeria. What do you think this also means for the Nigerian intervention movement and the Red Card movement as well?
Oh, the Red Card movement, to start with, the Coalition for Nigeria movement, they are talking about the same thing. But if you ask me, I think for me, it doesn't make any sense in a climate like Nigeria. It must be a political party. You cannot say you do not want President Buhari, you do not want APC, you do not want PDP, and so who do you want? Elections are around the corner, less than 2 years. When do you intend to form a political party? Or do you want to fill, an independent candidate? If yes, how possible is that? The polity in Nigeria has not evolved to the stage where an independent candidate could come up and win elections in Nigeria. Because elections are structure-based in Nigeria. You must set up a structure, you must grow the structure, It takes so much to win elections in Nigeria. So what I would think is that President Obasanjo should support APC he should support PDP or any other party which he should support, but you cannot do it outside the political party in Nigeria for now. That's my take on that.
When you say Coalition for Nigeria and the Red Cap movement are one and the same, do you say that, are you indirectly saying that the President, Olusegun Obasanjo, is behind the brainchild Red Carpet movement?
No, I'm not saying so. From what he is saying, he is looking at a movement that is non-political, yet he's also contradicting himself. He says in that letter also that the movement can also endorse a particular person to run for political office. And then he also did say that when the movement becomes an apparatus for bringing up politicians to run elections, he will also opt out. So it's contradictory somehow.
Following the president's letter, it's evident that he would obviously not be giving his support to APC. As a party member, as an APC party member, did you feel that your party would still somehow win 2019 presidential elections?
Yes, I am. If there's one thing I'm sure of, is the fact that APC is going to win 2019 election and we're going to win even more states. Unfortunately, Nigerians do not understand where we are, why we are here, and where we are going to. But I want to assure you that from all indications, APC is going to emerge the winner of 2019.
From what indications?
Yeah, indications politically. We are a political country. Everything I hear about politics. So if you look at political calculations, people are still defecting to APC. Even as I speak to you, people are defecting to APC. So the same PDP that were rejected in 2015 is trying to spring up again. PDP is dead and buried, if you ask me. That's the gospel truth. And I'm not just saying I'm going to prove that in the field come 2019.
Thank you very much, Mr. Philip Obin, for joining us in the studio. Nice to have had you.
Thank you.